What's good, everybody? It's your boy Flock representing the game of Illuminaughty, and we got a video for y'all, man. We're going to do a roundtable discussion on the generation gap in hip-hop. It's been a lot of stuff going on Twitter, on other forms of social media, where people like to call it new school versus old school, real hip-hop versus mumble rap, whatever what you want to call it. I got a panel full of people on here, man, that represent different genres, not different genres, but different eras of hip-hop. So you're going to get a full plate of, what everybody like and what everybody's taste is. We'll go around the horn. Other than myself, representing GI, you got TBH, say what up to the people. Got my boy A9, say what up to the people.
You dig? I've been gone for a little while, but I'm back now.
Yup. That includes me too. We got 3 Patreon supporters that are involved in this project as well. Marty, say what up to the people.
What's going on, people?
Blitz, say what up.
Yo, what's good, everybody? Hope everybody had a good Thanksgiving. I just didn't hit you too hard.
And fellow producer representing the Patreon crew, AB Smooth, say what up to the people.
What's good? Check out the SoundCloud.
Famous.
You gonna tell them what the SoundCloud
Everybody
is?
say gonna be a link in the description box below, or what's happening here?
Hey, yo, just go on SoundCloud.com, cuz.
Yeah.
I was waiting on the rest.
Support black business.
Yeah, support black business.
Y'all know
Even if
me.
we don't know what it is. I don't know. It's something. Whichever one of y'all black. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. All right. There's been a lot of tweets. Like I said before, there's been a lot of tweets and stuff like that. People, there's a lot of disconnect going on, and both parties can be considered guilty for it. You had the younger guys that don't know the history of the rap game, the hip hop game, and a lot of the older heads that take offense to it. Now, some of them are pretty cool about it. Others are just kind of like, they come across as the grumpy old man. I hear it all the time myself. So, it's being labeled as that as well, as a hip hop snob. But I'm gonna be as objective as I possibly can. I'll start with A9, since A9 is actually in that era, in that genre. And we'll start off by, how do you feel when you hear, like, I don't want to use like Joe Budden because he's like the easy target, but we'll start with Joe Budden since he's the easy target. When he has an issue with, say, like Amigos or someone like that, when he really doesn't, he clowns like a little Yachty and stuff like that. We've seen all those everyday struggles when he goes in on some of the younger generation. What is your take on that?
My whole thing is, why is it such a big deal? You know what I'm saying? Like, at the end of the day, people are just trying to make music, have fun, and escape the situations that they were previously in. And I don't know why it's such a big deal. I understand when it's a situation like a culture vulture situation, you know what I'm saying, where somebody just comes through and like uses the culture to like benefit them and doesn't give back to it or anything like that.
Post Malone.
But
You're a cool one.
but I'm just, I don't know. I can't really hate on somebody who's just like doing their thing if they're not hating on me. Like, it just like, I think that's where the disconnect comes from. It's like the younger generation is just doing their own thing, trying to have fun. And it just seems like people from the older generation are just hating on them because they're not making, I guess, in their opinion, conscious music. But the older generation that loves to criticize the newer generations like hip hop also doesn't support the conscious rappers that are trying to come out in the new generation.
Mm-hmm.
So they can't say anything. I don't see people like, there are so many, whenever Lil Pump breathes, everybody covers it. But I didn't see, a million people covered, I don't know.
Big Crit.
I feel like, yeah, exactly. I feel like Big Crit should have got more coverage. Like, so you feel me?
Yep.
That's just how I feel.
Practice what you preach, pretty much.
I say, what are we complaining about? Because, I mean, if you actually really look at it, all the top selling rappers touring album sales are rappers. Drake, Cole, Kendrick. I don't understand. Like, at the top of the Mount Rushmore of current day rappers is still rapidy ass niggas. So I don't like. My thing is, I feel like they force themselves to look at those mumble rappers that we know are going to be here today and gone tomorrow. And I feel like hip hop has a problem with not understanding the concept of demographics. Like, you'll never hear me slander somebody like Lil Pump, who I'm not a fan of. But if you ask me, yo, what's your opinion of Lil Pump, I'd be like, that shit's not for me. But I'm never gonna go out of my way and go on his music videos and be like, this shit's trash, hip hop is ruined. Like, I feel like hip hop needs to understand the concept of demographics. Like, not everything is for you. Not everything is designed for you specifically, and that's a very arrogant mindset to think that you think everything is made for you. And if it's not, then it's garbage. Lil Pump is made for simple-minded people that just want to turn up and have fun and pop Zans, bruh. If that ain't for you, then go listen to AZ. Like nobody is forcing you to listen to any of that stuff. And then also, like Anon said, support the upcoming dudes who are like Dion. Like, it's funny, like these old heads understand how to use the internet to criticize new niggas, but they don't know how to use the internet to find new niggas that are actually like hot.
There you go.
All right, Blitz, what's your take on it, bro?
I mean, just to kind of agree with what Anon TBH said, like, to me, music is music, and like, I grew up a lot. Like, I was born in 1990, so like, I kind of grew up listening to like a lot of the what's be considered old school around this time now. So that's usually what I gravitate towards. But at the same time, I also do have an ear for like some of the new stuff. Like, I was just telling my siblings the other day, because we were talking about this kind of the same thing, where like I started to listen like to Travis Scott more when I really didn't before, because it all sounded like noise to me. But I think it's all about like a time and a place, and it's all about an appropriate time and place. Like, I can appreciate a guy like Travis Scott more because it's just like when I'm at the gym or something, or I'm hooping with my friends or something like that, and I want to listen to something just to turn up, I'll put on Travis Scott. But then I also have most of my conscious stuff like like Kendrick and J. Cole, and like old school stuff like Tribe Called Quest and all that kind of stuff. So to me, like, I try not to follow all the hip hop drama. Like, I don't watch Everyday Struggle at all, because it's just, like I said, it's just noise to me, and I really have no interest in following any of that. But at the same time, like, I can kind of see where both sides, where like, to me, just music is music. So that's pretty much all it is to me.
All right, AB.
Well, with me, it's kind of different because y'all know I grew up in the Bay Area, and we had a couple of artists that ranged from different. You got your Too Shorts and E40s, where not a lot of people thought they was very lyrical, but out here, that's what we listened to. Then my mom always listened to Tupac and Outkast, so when I hear things like Lil Pump, 21 Savage, it don't really bother me. It's just like, okay, it's good music. Good music doesn't necessarily have to be lyrical. It don't really got to mean something. Just as long as you can vibe to it, then it is what it is. And then I also got 3 younger siblings that listen to all different types of stuff. So, it's, to me, it's just subjective. So that's the main thing.
Yeah. I did have a question though. Like, when we try to define like old school versus new school, are we talking about like time period? Like, are we putting like a definite timeline on it? Or are we talking about sound? Or
me, I don't like to even use the word old school. I could call it throwback or whatever, because I mean, old school, it just sounds like so far away, so long ago. Even though most of it is like the people that tend to have the problem.
If something is a decade or older, it's old school, bro. Like, you can dress it up any which way you want, but if it's a decade or older, it's old.
I think the most confusing thing about this conversation is, why do like some of these old heads act like whack rappers is a new thing? Like, let's take it back to the 90s, bro. For every Tupac, there was a Vanilla Ice. For every Andre 3K, there was a Silk the Shocker.
I was about to say that.
Come on,
I was about to touch on. I was about to let Marty go, and I was actually about to touch on that. Marty, you can go ahead, man.
Shit, I don't even have much to say, because like Blitz and TBH hit it on the head, where it's like an ad where it's all perspective. I grew up listening to Lil Wayne and his generation, and my brother Jay-Z. So I'm big on Jay-Z. I still like Jay-Z to this day. But like, growing up, I'm the youngest thing here. I want to put that out. I'm only 21, so I'm still trying to find myself in the game. But I do respect those coming out, as you say, like old school, because I don't know any other phrase.
That's actually cool that you are, the age you are, because I wanted to get different perspectives from the different age ranges in here, so that's actually a good thing.
Yeah. So
go ahead.
I was gonna say, I do my justice. I try to go back and like, I try to listen to those that came before: Big Pun, Big L, Wu-Tang, Tribe. I try to go back and listen to like the origin of everything. I don't want to sit here and be like, oh yeah, I'm just listening to what's out now. Nah, you got to listen to why people are saying what they're saying and where the skill came from and how the generation and evolution of things have changed over the years.
Yeah, I was gonna touch on something what TBH had kind of messed around with when he said, like, for every this person you had that person. Like I always felt like the 90s was the golden era. That is just, to me, you can't convince me otherwise, because it was just like you said, it was a lot of great MCs, a lot of great music that came out, but for every great one, you did have a we didn't consider, like, we always thought, when I listened to Too Short, I never considered Too Short lyrical. Too Short was always on some pimp shit to me. So it was always, you want to hear him just talk some stuff, say a bunch of cussing and hear, yes, that was entertaining, because that's what he,
like, are we going to act like Hawaiian Sophie doesn't exist? Like,
yeah, I mean, but then you had acts like Two Live, but then you had acts like Two Live Crew. Them dudes weren't lyrical. They talked about fucking all the time. That's what they talked about.
So then why I think the whole thing is a lot of people, a lot of old heads just don't like auto-tune, because what you're saying to me is literally the Migos. That's what, nobody who listens to the Migos is like, yo, the Migos got like lyrics. You feel me? They're like, yo, they talk about just trap shit.
I think what people
kind of, the music sounds good, and like that's what gets me upset, because it's like, people are like, oh, nah, we had this, that, and the third. It's just, you also have to understand, if I want to get noticed, right, and you do something outlandish and you get noticed, what am I going to do? I'm going to top you. So back in the day, you have dudes who, like, all right, like a Two Live Crew made the way for Amigos, like, right. Because people were going to push that shit further. You got, all right, like, perfect example. Future was the first nigga I heard of that I was like, what is he saying on these records? I was like, I have no idea what this is. Now, from Future has stemmed this whole wave of mumble rap. I feel like.
What's an I
can understand what Gucci was saying.
I feel like I feel like a lot of the old heads are not necessarily like they hate the young dudes, but it's more so they're looking for balance. And if anything, in my opinion, I feel like the tastemakers of today are more to blame than the actual rappers. Right. Lil Pump has a platform because people give the tastemakers give him a platform, but then they don't balance it out and give somebody else a platform.
It's the old heads. It's everybody's fault, because the old heads make it worse, because you have to understand, we live in an age of internet trolls. So if they see people are getting mad at something, they're gonna swarm to that shit. And a lot of dudes didn't realize, like, back in the day, when they were talking about, oh, this person, blah, 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 that person. If you don't like somebody, don't talk about them, or don't shit on them. Just let them do them and fade out into mediocrity.
Well, I feel like that falls under tastemakers. Maybe some people don't realize they're tastemakers. Because I remember, what was it, like, Pete Rock went at Young Dolph at one point, and it's like, instead of going at him, why don't you shout out what new dude that you do like? Because whether he realizes it or not, he has influence.
Right.
So it's like, I feel like some people maybe don't understand that they're tastemakers in this game. Like, I feel like once you hit that OG status, when you co-sign somebody, that does matter. When Nas co-signed Dave East, that mattered.
Right.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But see, Dave East can spit, though.
Yeah. But he chose to co-sign somebody that he thought could spit. That's what I'm saying. Not enough people are co-signing what they really like. They're too busy talking about what they don't like.
Right?
Yeah, I can see that. Yeah.
Exactly.
See, you co-sign the stuff that you think is hot, instead of just bashing the stuff that you think isn't hot. Because I see what Anon's saying, because they come across as they just complaining. But let me play devil's advocate. What about on the flip side? Because I always felt like hip hop is the one genre of music where the legends, the guys that had they run, that's been in the game for 10, 15 years, instead of being celebrated, they get pushed to the side. You don't see that stuff with rock music. The Rolling Stones been making music. Rolling Stones been making music for 40 years, and they can go on a tour with Linkin Park or somebody like that. And Linkin Park not gonna come out and diss the Rolling Stones. They not gonna come out there and say, "Oh, these old dudes had their turn." You know what they gonna do? They gonna celebrate them. They gonna put them out there. People gonna support it, and they gonna go sell out shows. U2 still selling out shows.
That's because their tastemakers are playing their records on the radio, and this kind of goes like I gotta take a shot at somebody like Ebro at Hot 97, right? He pisses me off because he interviews a lot of these little mumble rappers, and he'll talk shit to them for 30 minutes in an interview. You can't rap? Can you rap at this beat? And then after he talks shit about them, he'll play their record, and he'll be like, I'm only playing it because that's what's getting the views of this, like, and the third. And you can play that record, but also try to break somebody, play somebody that you do like. It's like at the end of the day, you're hating on them, but then you're still being a follower. And it's like you have all this clout.
Radio personalities don't have the personality no more. They being told, they have program directors that tell them what to play now. You know, they being told what to play all the time now. Program directors that's telling them, hey, we gonna play these 8 or 9 songs 6-7 times in the next 6 hours.
But I would argue like, all right, at this point, like Power 105 isn't the same without the Breakfast Club. So they have enough power to be like, hey, you know, or even Ebro has enough power to be like, hey, I'm gonna play these 8 or 9 songs, but I want to play this one record from this dude who I feel like is coming up that deserves this shit.
Right.
And it's good. I'm just gonna mix it in.
They have enough power.
I can also argue what's his Twitter for? What's his Instagram for? Maybe he can't play it on the radio, but he can put it on his social media. That's still going to give a lot of looks.
I think it was Angie Martinez actually who showed Kendrick to Drake. You feel me? So it's like a cosign really does matter. But that's the thing. A lot of people are complaining, but nobody's cosigning. And like, the music industry is a fucked up place. It's all about clout.
Yeah, and I think to your point, Flock, like hip hop, now that I was sitting here thinking about it, I think hip hop is like the only genre of music where there's a really intense feeling of competitiveness. Like, because if you look, like you have things like rap battles and like look at a lot of people's lyrics, there's diss tracks. I don't think you hear any diss tracks in like rock or right. So I think that's where I think that I was just sitting here thinking like, where did this come from? Where there's that like it's the only genre of music that has like that competitive like edge to it. Like you don't hear that in any other type of music.
One thing with me, I can appreciate longevity in this genre of music, because your average rap career is only like what six years or something like that.
This year, I'd say like 2.
I mean, and nowadays with the quality of it now is maybe what 3. I mean, when you see a guy like a LL, that dude's been rhyming since the 80s, bro, since like 85. I mean, you see guys like a Nas that's been in the game since 93, 94 and stuff like that. You gotta appreciate that. And for them guys to still be, you know, practically still relevant since then, a 3,000 can out-rap anybody. And I mean anybody out right now. And you can't tell me nothing different. Yes, I'm biased, but I will put 3,000 up against your favorite rapper right now, and he will outdo him on a song. And he's been out since 93. So, I mean, for people to say, oh man, these dudes watch, because it goes both ways. I've heard a lot of, you know, younger fans and younger rappers, they like, oh, I don't want to rap over this beat, this old ass beat, and blah 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 blah. It's like, if you show that you can do this, that's not their
type of music, though.
My thing is, if you are, I understand that, but if you are, this is where a lot of people get pissed. My thing is, hip hop started off of what? Most of the time, freestyling and battling. If you ain't take the time to even know and learn your craft, if you were just a one-trick pony, then yeah, people are gonna come at you. I
feel like it's a miscommunication too, because let's be real here. The only person that I've really seen talk shit about old heads was Lil Uzi Vert. Even the Lil Yachty situation was a miscommunication. Lil Yachty said that he just wasn't familiar. He seems like a nice dude. He just said he wasn't familiar with the old school. He didn't grow up on. He grew up on Cameron and like 50 and shit like that. But he never talked down on him. It's just I think he's like 18. Like he was just a product of his age. It was only really Lil Uzi that was like, I don't rap on them old beats. Like fuck them old dudes. And it kind of turned into this whole thing. Fuck all these new dudes. And I think that's where that animosity comes. So I think it's a community. If anything, everybody should be mad at Uzi.
Yeah, I mean, it ain't just him, because I remember when the Soulja Boy and Ice-T shit went into play.
That was funny.
Oh,
Ice-T was in the wrong for that. Ice-T was in the wrong for that. You know what I mean? And Soulja Boy had every right to defend himself in that case. So, like I said, it goes both ways. I just always feel like it should be some type of common ground. I don't feel like a lot of the older dudes feel like, yo, I did this already, so you need to put me up here. And some of the younger guys is like, yo, move the hell out the way. We in here now. My thing is, one single don't make you the shit. You know what I mean? Because I remember when TBH first started streaming, and I remember them saying something about what's that dude named Trinidad James. I got called all types of haters and stuff because I said I think his shit is whack. I don't like him, and I was like, talk to me in 3 years and see what he doing, and tell me where he gonna be at.
There's
3
a
years later,
fundamental difference.
3 years later, and hold on, let me finish. He went and did a show in New York. Went in New York, start talking all types of greasy, talking about, yeah, we run y'all up here in New York and all this other stuff. What happened to that dude? The boy Mano checked him, and then it got the boy Rob. You ain't heard much of nothing else from him since. He tanked off after that. Well, that's what I'm saying, man. That's a lot of these dudes, they talk and they pop off. They have one hit, bro. One hit don't make you hot.
Trinidad James is not the same though as a Lil Uzi or as a Lil Yachty. You also have to understand how much image goes into these things, and also whether you like Lil Uzi or not. At this point, he's had multiple hits, so he's gonna stick around for a little bit longer. He's not falling off anytime soon. Neither, and Lil Yachty, whether his music stands the test of time, or let me not say the test of time, whether his music stands a few years or not, doesn't matter, because his brand is already so big enough that he's going to be straight regardless. Music is not about just music anymore. I'm sorry, that time is gone. That time is...
It's all about the brand. People buy into you as a person, basically.
It's the brand. There's a reason why Logic sells more than a lot of niggas in rap. There's a reason why I personally don't listen to Russ's music, but people buy Russ's shit and go to his shows, and he does a lot better numbers than a lot
sold
of
out LA
in the
twice.
Music industry. Yeah, whatever. What I'm saying, I'm saying it's all about the brand now. So it's just it doesn't matter. One hit, yeah, okay, but Trinidad James, you can't really compare to these other dudes, because Trinidad James is a fucking idiot for going on record saying, I just started rapping 6 months ago. Now I'm here.
I could tell. AB, chime in when you want.
Things you shouldn't say. When Slim Jesus went on record talking about, well, I'm not really hard. Same thing. Somebody else who I feel just did that, who I don't know what that's gonna do to him, but it wasn't a good look. Or I don't know if he said it, but I know somebody published an article talking about how he went from being a gamer to this hood rapper or whatever with YBN the Mirror. And I was like, damn, that's not a good look.
Oh yeah, I seen that. He was a GTA YouTuber.
Yeah. Anything that takes away your credibility in hip hop immediately deads you. So
because people buying into the image that you personify in the music.
Exactly. Peep. Notice how you bring up Meek Mill now, and it's not the same as prior to the whole Drake situation. Image is everything. Image is everything.
I never really thought he was that good of a rapper before that.
No, I fuck with Meek Mill. I'm just saying. Ever since then, it's
he's the butt of every joke now.
Yeah, exactly.
It's his music changed, which it didn't. His music is still the same.
No, it's just everybody's perception of him changed.
Yeah, exactly.
And perception is reality.
That's what happens. Yo, rap is WWE. Don't get it twisted. It doesn't give a fuck. Your music,
I said this before.
Doesn't matter, bro. It's WWE.
Be backstage. Them dudes be talking all greasy on records and be on the phone with each other, talking about how they gonna hype the next beef up. So
it's WWE.
That's why. That's the reason why when we had the discussion about the diss tracks and stuff like that, how you don't see that ferocity and that venom in diss tracks now. Everything is so subliminal. They won't even say the person's name half the time. Well, it's the females are dissing harder than the males these days. So it's kind of crazy.
Facts.
I think we just need to document everything. I remember Charlamagne saying we need a radio station dedicated to everything old school hip hop hits that just plays it 24/7 of any record that's of a certain age, so that young people can tune in and just get familiar with it, because really that's what it comes down to. They're just not familiar with it. And then also like the whole disrespect thing. I feel like people need to start. People too politically correct in hip hop these days. I feel like people need to start checking people because when what's the name? What was it? Action Bronson started talking greasy about Ghostface. They pulled up on him. Wu-Tang. They was like, "Nah, you're not gonna do that." He was like, "My bad." Like that people talking crazy because everybody ain't nobody doing shit. Yeah, ain't nobody doing shit.
Yeah,
about
they're getting away with it. Yeah,
yeah, and it's like if we're gonna establish respect for our elders and our OGs, which it should be our legends, people need to start getting checked because people are talking greasy.
Yep. So, it definitely goes both ways though.
Like I've always said, like I'm not an Eminem fan, but I can always recognize his rapping ability. I'm just not a fan of his content, but I'm not gonna sit up here and be like, yo, Eminem's trash and this, that, and the third. Like I feel like people gotta recognize certain skill sets without being a hater and shit.
All right, so I'm gonna go down the line, ask everybody who they listening to now. You just give me top 3 or whatever, 5 or whatever, people that you listening to like right now, and just what you listening to and whatnot. So I'll start with Blitz. Who you listening to right now?
Right now, like I said, I kind of listen to just about anything. If it sounds good to me, I'll listen to it. But right now, Kendrick has always been a staple to me. I think, like, without going with a lot of the details, like, I went to a predominantly white high school, so like I had to listen to shit like Outkast and Kendrick and things like that to kind of keep me grounded in blackness. But Kendrick is one. Second, I'd probably say Currency. I've started to. I heard like a couple tracks by him, and then I started listening to him a lot more. And then
Pilot Talk 2.
That's my guy.
Right.
Pilot Talk 2. That's
yep.
classic.
Yeah, and then but I've just gone back. I'll just listen to more Bone Thugs and Harmony too. So it's funny. Like I was trying to go back and listen to older stuff now. Like I pretty much listen to just about anything, like I said. But recently I've just been going back and just listening to stuff that I grew up in that era, but may have missed.
Oh, I haven't heard in a while. That's always good.
Exactly. Yep, for sure. So,
all right,
yeah.
Marty, who you listening to?
Just a quick clarification. When you say right now, what do you mean?
Who you listening to?
Who's heavy on your rotation in your playlist, basically?
Okay. Well, Russ. That's one. It's kind of hard because my rotation just revolves around everything I listen to.
Okay.
But Russ is on the top because he released his new album, so I'm just waiting on him to do another.
You might be the first real Russ fan I've met, so y'all do exist. That's crazy. Nah, kudos for him admitting that because Russ is a meme right now, and he's still like, "Nah, I'm a Russ fan." I respect that.
I can't knock it. It's funny. I want to say PNB Rock. That's his name, right?
Yeah.
Damn, Russ and PNB Rock. Whoa,
wow, he's different.
I nothing wrong with that.
He's in a rotation right now because I'm trying to figure out who he is as an artist. So
and that's what you do to find out, bro. That's good shit.
No, that PNB Rock song, "My City Needs Something." That record's hard.
No,
I didn't say he wasn't hard. I said the comments is gonna come after him.
Oh man, let that man live.
I mean, they can. I'm just discovering it. I'm pretty. I was thinking right before they got to me,
that, bro.
I said Russ already, so they're gonna be like, all right, you go ahead.
But, AB, who else? Who you got?
Well, again, being in the Bay Area, it's a variety of Bay Area artists I've been listening to. He can't release nothing in a minute. And hopefully my man will stop getting shot at. So bless his funky. But now we got a group, SOB RBE. They had the song Anti that's really blowing up, and they got a good little mixtape out. This dude from Antioch, Mike Sherm, and then E40 signed an artist called OMB PZ from Alabama. That boy.
I know him. I know he all right. I know him.
Yeah. Other than that, I've been listening, my regulars, which Crit, his new little album. I really like that. That's been heavy in rotation. And just, their usuals, Kendrick's, J. Cole's, all that, etc.
You know what I always liked about the Bay? Like, it's one of the few areas in the United States where I feel like you can be a Bay artist and live off that shit. Like, y'all support y'all own, which I fuck with. Like, it's like the Bay, Texas,
they sell music out
and then Atlanta.
Cars,
those 3 areas, like, you can just be a Texas artist and survive off that shit. Same thing.
Oh, yeah, man.
They got a different type of hustle down there, too.
Yeah, like, I fuck with that.
Yeah, I definitely appreciate that.
It's real close knit out here because I mean, a lot of the times you know the people who's making the music. So it's the Bay Area is it's big, but it's small. Like San Francisco, where I grew up in, a lot of people we all know each other. So a lot of people who end up rapping, we end up seeing them or went to high school with them, played basketball with them. So you end up supporting your peoples, and then eventually that stuff blows up.
True. I got to go back out there someday.
All right, TBH, who in the rotation?
Big Crit. I've been listening to a lot of Gold Link. I like his it's like an up tempo hip hop EDM type shit. I really fuck with. And then was it Rhapsody, G Herbo, and Dave East. I would say that's what I'm mainly listening to.
How was that Rhapsody album, TBH? Because I keep meaning to go back and listen to it.
People been telling me for the longest to listen to her, and I'm like, yeah, whatever. I'm not gonna lie.
You that?
Flock. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna lie. One of the reasons that I kind of put off listening to her is because she reminded me of that old music service Rhapsody. I'm like, bro. I'm like, bro, that's some music. That's like Napster or some shit, bro. And then I put her new record on. I was like, yo, this chick is spitting the production is A1. The spitting she's very.
You know who a producer is, right?
Who's a producer?
Ninth, bro.
Oh, okay. She's easily the hardest female out.
Artist.
She's the hardest female out. But everything that Nicki Minaj think of the polar opposite.
All right, that it.
Yeah.
A9.
Oh man. Let's see. I've definitely been bumping 21 Savage and Offset. That Without Warning. That shit.
Oh yeah, that's an honorable mention for me too. That was lit.
Ignorant.
Ghostface Killers.
Bro. This shit is fuck Ghostface Killers. Mad Stalkers. My chopper hate niggas.
Best title of the year for a track.
Bro, that shit is a coon classic. That shit is in. Bro, I have not stopped playing that record. But Travis Scott is always in my regular rotation. I've been getting more into Brent Faiyaz. I think that's how you say his name. And let's see. Damn. Really just a whole bunch of random indie music because I'm trying to get in album mode. So I'm not really trying to listen to a lot of lyrical rappers.
The album coming. Look out, y'all.
Yeah. So.
All right. I guess I can go. Me, I ain't gonna lie, man. It's hard to get into a lot of this newer stuff that's out, man. I tried.
Tell us what's in your rotation, Flock. Tell us.
What's in my rotation? Rhapsody. Kendrick. Definitely Kendrick. I've been listening to a lot of Schoolboy Q stuff lately too.
Okay.
I had to go back and catch some of his stuff, and then Crit. And I've always been a fan of his anyway. So it ain't hard. I have to force myself to listen.
You listen to Lute? He recently signed to Dreamville.
Nah, I ain't.
I feel like you'd like him.
Yeah,
L-U-T.
Dave East, of course, and shout out, like I said before, TBH actually put me up on him about a year and a half ago. So I've been listening to him ever since. So yeah, I mean that's pretty much who I'll be listening to the most as far as current. But of course, I have to go back and listen to all the classic stuff, man, because that's just
what you grew up with.
Yeah, that's what I grew up listening to. So it's that stuff sticks to me. It's and that's the only thing I'll be trying to say. A lot of the stuff that's out now, I like to listen to stuff that when I hear it 20 years from now, I want to be yo, I remember what I was doing the first time I heard this. Exactly. And when I listen to a lot of today's music, it's I just kind of be I don't get that. It's just music from 20 years ago that I heard when I was a kid. I can hear it today. I'd be I remember when this bullshit was on the radio all the time, man. Some of this stuff was, it's music that came out back then. It was garbage too to me, but it's just today's stuff. It's just, I don't get that that feeling when I hear some of this stuff. I just be I guess it's cool for now, but I don't go out my way to trash the stuff that's out now. It's just when somebody TBA said earlier, I don't go out my way to say, yo, this person garbage, this person garbage. Like when somebody asks me my opinion on what you think about this person, what you think about that person. Like people think just because I'm from Chicago, I like all Chicago rappers. I think Chief Keef is one of the worst rappers ever, if you ask me. And I say that all the time. Like, and you know, people ask me about certain people. I'm like, I don't like them. I don't like that drill music. That's just not what I'm into. So, you know, AD might be a different person. He may be, you know, he may have been into the hyphy movement. I'm not into the drill. I'm not into the drill. I'm not into the drill movement that's out right now. I can't get with it. So I don't listen to the stuff I don't like, and the stuff I do like, I support it. And I feel like the older artists that had they run or whatever and ain't necessarily relevant right now should use some of that influence to kind of promote some of the people that are dope out here, because not everybody is mumble rappers out here. You know, they just the ones that's getting the shine because that's what the people are listening to. That's just what the people are into right now.
I feel like mumble rappers are better at utilizing the internet for marketing. I feel like rappers aren't really that good because they're more focused on their craft.
Yeah, exactly.
So like what Flock said, like I feel like just what a miserable life to constantly talk about what you fucking hate, bro. That shit's whack, bro. Just talk about what you like, bro. Like it's just I don't get it. It's a miserable life to live.
My whole thing is it's like, yo, it's not hard to find. It's even easier to find good low-key conscious rappers with Spotify. Yo, if you go on Spotify and you just hit your daily mix or like discover or
Discover shit, now,
you can find a whole lot of dope people. Like I said, it's just people don't. It's a lot of
people want to be spoon fed
to this,
right?
And also, and I can't even say that the conscious dudes are without fault either, because a lot of people who are conscious just try and focus on the strength of their music. I even did, and it's something that I'm learning now that like it really is like people have to buy into your brand and your image and all that sort of shit. So it's like, yes, continue to make the music that you make, but if you don't have something to diversify yourself from the crowd, if you're just another conscious rat nigga, then nobody cares. And nobody cares even more now that like everybody just wants to listen to hard shit.
Right.
Because the difference between today and back then, I feel like, is the concerts. I think that's the real difference. Because nobody wants to go to a concert and stand now. Everybody wants to go and like go crazy. That's why you always see on Twitter like the really crazy concerts. And a lot of conscious dudes is, you know, nobody's going hard to a boom bap beat like that.
Nobody's trying to listen to Illmatic at the party. I'm sorry.
I mean, yeah, that's true. I mean, you're not going. I mean, that shit is cool for the House of Blues and shit like that. But you know, a smaller venue. But in a big venue, people want to get out their seat, and dance and stuff like that. That's understandable. That's definitely understandable. Marty, you want to add something, man, before we wrap it up?
A quick snippet on who's heavy in my rotation right now. Shout out to Anon for introducing Sylvan LaCue. He dropped that in the Discord one time, and I was like, "Yo, this dude's dope." And I went back and listened to his music, his album for 2014, Searching Sylvan. And if you haven't listened to that, you go back and listen to that. That's definitely gonna turn you on to this man right here. That album was just fire front to back. So shout out to Anon for that, and shout out to Sylvan LaCue.
True.
Cool. Bliss, you want to add anything else before we wrap it up?
No, I think everything that's said has already been said. So, like I said, just like I know Anon said, like I feel like we won't go back to the time where music is just music and niggas making, you know, music just for the sake of it. But I like to be an idealist, and that's kind of where my mindset is, and hopefully we can get a little bit of that to come back, because that's how I kind of just go through this whole music shit. Just like, if it sounds good to me, I'll throw it on my playlist.
There's gonna be another renaissance. There's gonna be another renaissance. There is going to be another renaissance, because let me tell you, like, niggas love forgetting that like 2005 to 2010 was like a dark age of hip hop.
Horrible. I didn't even want to mention that stuff because I didn't want to be. I didn't want to be. I didn't want to be. No, you know I got it. You know I was gonna do it, but I don't want to be that guy.
Every which sort of crazy remix, the white tee remix, yellow tee.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think about it. One was hot.
Crank that spot up.
Right.
No. But what I'm saying is, notice how after that dark age, literally, I think it was like the 2011 XXL was like like
It's always
Kendrick,
darkest before
A$AP
dawn.
Rocky. Like it was.
Right.
It's gonna
It was
be
a new
another
wave,
renaissance.
yeah, it was a
Right
new
now,
wave. It just took
people-
a minute for them dudes to come out.
I hear
Man,
people
that must
talking
have
about,
been a
oh, this
bad
is
year.
about to be this is like the darkest point. I'm like, y'all don't understand. It's about to have. We're about to break a whole bunch of new, great, dope, conscious artists. I'm hoping to be.
Also, like
part of that.
I
You know what I'm saying? Like,
can I reiterate that the top rappers these days are going platinum, and these dudes that everybody's getting mad at, like Lil Pump sold like 40,000. Man, let him feed his family, bro. He's not going
Right.
platinum.
Nah,
Like, J. Cole went platinum with no features, bro, twice. Like, what are we talking about? Like,
With no features or no promotion either.
right.
No,
Lil Pump sold
chill,
40,000 and you mad?
Chill. J. Cole had promotion on that album.
No, bro.
I'll say no features, but
No,
nah,
they
bro.
didn't promote. They didn't
fam.
promote it like they should have.
As someone who's in it, that album got promotion. Trust me. Just trust me. That album got promotion. We'll talk more about it. We'll talk more about it off record, but that album got promotion.
Like I said, A Boogie sold like 30,000. Let that man feed his family, please. What are
It all
y'all
goes
mad
in
about?
Yeah, I'm glad Anon mentioned that though, because like I said, I didn't want to be that guy that brought that up, because I had this conversation before with somebody and it was just like, oh man, let it go. That stuff wasn't that bad, Flock. No, I'm like, bro, when you think about from 2004 to 2010, what was the hottest stuff out? Party Like a Rock Star. Party Like a Rock Star.
Don't remind me.
Wipe Me Down.
Hey. Swag
think they like
surfing
me.
is a Negro spiritual, okay?
Right. Wipe me down. You know what I'm saying? Oh boy, look at here. You know what I mean? It was
I don't care what you say, Fly. You turn on swag surfing, nigga. You surfing with the rest of the crowd. I do not want to hear it, bro. That is a
Hey,
Negro
wait a minute.
spiritual.
Tell me when the go came out in 2006. So I mean, you know, there was some good things that happened.
No, there was some good and some really bad. Hit the booty, dude.
I mess with 40 though.
Hit the booty,
I
dude.
mess with 40.
Y'all remember that? What was the G Fly Boys or some shit like that?
Oh,
G4 hit the booty, dude. They did the stanky leg, I think, too.
Oh my God.
I wasn't. It's like stuff like that. I wasn't a fan of it. I thought this stuff was horrible, but it was stuff that was still good in the midst of all that. You had Lupe Fiasco. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, the
Like,
cool.
Yeah,
you know
but
what I'm
see,
saying?
now let's bring that up, since you want to bring up Lupe. Where's the Lupe supporters now? Tetsuo and Youth came out, and
And
fire.
it was an amazing album, and nobody put it out there.
There you go.
that.
there you
I
go.
know.
You
Like
what
I
I'm saying?
said,
like,
I'm neutral, dog. I'm gonna be neutral. I'm just gonna speak straight truth. You know what I'm saying? On either side. I'm just saying it was like you did mention that dark age. I'm just saying the stuff that was hottest back then. Let's not act like this stuff was, this stuff wasn't reasonable doubt, y'all. Like this stuff was garbage. This
Right.
stuff was horrible. So
That's true.
and the stuff that got radio play was stuff like the stuff that I mentioned. But there was some stuff that was out that should have been played that wasn't. And that's when it really started. I mean, you had when it took Jadakiss to come out with that Y song for him to really, get put on the map as a solo artist. And he was mentioning stuff like that, like, why such had to happen for this to come out? Why this had to? It's just like a lot of people don't want to hear the truth, but I always say, man, I don't like it, I don't listen to it. And you like it, good for you.
Yep.
But if I don't like it, I'm gonna let you know.
bottom line. If you don't like it, don't listen to it.
And I'm glad everybody in here had their own objective opinions. Nobody in here is sharing a brain. Everybody had, that's why I let everybody mention what they listen to and what they like. That was by design, so everybody can see this wasn't no, it wasn't no rehearsed nothing. Everybody said a bunch of different people. So that's all well and good.
I gotta ask before we wrap this up.
Oh, okay.
Were you one of the people that attended the Russ conference that he sold out twice in LA? Did you go?
Nah.
I'm sorry, I had that. Because he sold out LA twice. I just wanted you guys to know. Russ does everything himself. That's all.
And he did his own promotion.
Right.
If he ever comes to North Carolina, I'd go. But I don't know.
I had to catch up on that. I had to do some research on him. I seen him when he went in on Old Girl. He was kind of sensitive on that in the desk and shit. AB Smooth, in closing, you want to say something, man?
Just be subjective with your music, man. Go look, find out who you like. There's a lot of tools out there for you to be able to find what you like. And don't sleep on the Bay. We coming back. It's our year.
Hey,
shit, what do I have to say? I mean, fuck, if you don't like shit, don't listen to it. And Motorola dropping the 30th.
There we go.
Mm.
There we go. Cop that. Blitz.
So what you saying is my computer gonna blow up on the 30th? True.
What did you get, guys?
Bliss, what you got?
Nah, man, just music is music to me, and it all goes in cycles, and I'm just ready for that new renaissance to come through. So, and appreciate y'all for having me on, and we're gonna keep moving.
All right, true. Marty.
I don't even know, man. Just I don't know. Appreciate y'all having me through. Like my man Bliss said, music is music. Perspective is all. To each his own. Shout out to the ones that aren't getting what they need. Shout out to the ones that are. All that good stuff.
TBH.
I think the moral of this conversation is look up the word demographics, understand it, comprehend it, because not everything is for you. And if you think it is, and you bash it, then you have a very arrogant mind frame, and you need to evaluate yourself. Because, like, I don't like Justin Bieber, but I understand why bitches like Justin Bieber, bro. Like,
There you go. There you go.
It is.
Understand.
In closing for me, I am the resident hip-hop snob of this panel, and I have no problem admitting that. But like I said before, I don't go out my way to trash the stuff that's out. It's just when people try to bash the stuff that I felt was great and that I think is good now, then I have to let them know that, nigga, you wrong. So that's all I would say. I try to be objective. Don't let other people's opinions become your opinions. Like what you like. Don't be ashamed of it. Like my man Marty mentioned some stuff that people I don't even know. So big ups to him for being his own man and liking what he liked. Don't let the internet, other people, these forums and stuff tell you and coach you into liking bullshit music out here, y'all. Do what y'all do, man. We out of here. Anybody interested in being in these type of videos, we have a Patreon tier for that. Please consider it a pleasure to the Patreon. I'd like to thank our guests, AB Smooth, Bliss, and Marty for joining us, along with TPH and Anon for being in this. This was a
Look
long
in the
time
description
coming.
box below to the Patreon.
Yep, absolutely. Link to that will be in the description box. AB Smooth never shouted out what his SoundCloud was, so I'm assuming he gonna get that to y'all by way of telepathy. So, you want to shout that out real quick, my guy, before we
SoundCloud/AB Smooth. Zeros, not the letter O. Remember that.
All right. AB Smooth with the number zeros and not the letter O. I'll try to remember to put that in there. If I don't, sue me. All right, we out of here, y'all. Peace out. We'll see y'all on the next one.